Hello children, welcome to science class today. So this is the third session, page number 49 it will start children. So in this chapter what we are going to learn is the repetition. Anyhow, we have to recall what we are going to learn and what we have learned, isn't it? Physical properties of metals and non-metals, chemical properties of metals and non-metals, reaction with oxygen, reaction with water, reaction with acid, reaction with bases, displacement reaction, uses of metals and non-metals. So these are the topics or concepts what we have learned. In this one, few concepts we have to learn that we are going to learn today, children. Children, in the session 1, we have learned about physical properties of metals and non-metals. I think you remember that. Metals are sonorous, lustrous, malleable, ductile, isn't it? So non-metals are opposite to this one. And few exemptions also we have learnt about this. In the next session, chemical properties of metals and non-metals, reaction with the oxygen, reaction with water, and reaction with the acids. That also we have learned. And what are the products we are going to get and how to check the products. That also we have learned in the second session. Next, in the third session, we are going to learn about reaction with the acid, reaction with bases, displacement reaction, uses of metals and non-metals. So these are the 3 sessions. Today's third session, we are going to learn. So reaction of metals and non-metals with acids, how they will react and what we are going to obtain from this one. Let us see. So here is one activity, children. Let us see the activity. Take samples of metals and non-metals. So they are listed in the table in the textbook they are given. So those metals we are going to take, metals and non-metals together. Separate test tubes we have to take and label them A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. So with the help of a dropper, add 5 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid to each test tube one by one. So what we'll see, what will happen, that we are going to see now, children. And also what you have to do, you have to observe the reactions carefully. If no reaction occurs in the cold solution, warm the test tube. Mouth of each test tube you have to warm little bit. So what will happen? So let us see here what are the reactions are going to be takes place. So in the test tube A, we are going to take this one. So metals and non-metals in this one. Magnesium ribbon we have taken. So at the room temperature, what will happen? It will react. And reaction at the room temperature also, it will react with. So with the dilute H2SO4 and warming, it will not react out. You have to check it out. So next, aluminum foil. So it reacts with the room temperature and with the acid it is reacting, children. So dilute hydrochloric acid, it will react on warming. Just like that, it is going to be a react. So reaction with the room temperature also, it will react. So when you come to iron fillings, so at room temperature it will react, and reaction with the room temperature, it taking place in the dilute hydrochloric acid also. Okay. Next, children. So copper peeled flexible wire. Peeled flexible wire means copper wire in the current wise what we are using in the houses. No? So that peel off the plastic and take it out. So here no reaction takes place in this one and it reacts at the reacts. So when you come to the charcoal powder, there is no reaction at all with this. Acid or base, it will not react. No reaction will be there. And sulfur powder, no reaction at the room temperature. After a little warming, it will react, children. So these are the thing what we have observed. Children, so what is the conclusion by this one we see? Non-metals generally do not react with acids and produce hydrogen gases. Gas acids. So whereas metals react with hydrochloric acid, either warming or at the room temperature, and liberates hydrogen gas. Clear, children? Non-metals do not react with the acids. We can see another one, reaction with the bases, how it will be there. So take freshly prepared sodium hydroxide. That means pellets, 2 to 3 pellets you take and put it in the water and prepare distilled water. Put it in distilled water and prepare solution of this one. So it will react with the aluminum to produce sodium aluminate, and hydrogen gas is going to be liberated here, children. Okay? So how to check the hydrogen gas also? Let us see the experiment. Children, see this one. This is the very thin foil of aluminium, which is used for wrapping chapatis and all. Now I have taken freshly prepared sodium hydroxide solution in the test tube. Now let us add few pieces of aluminium. See, I am tearing it pieces, small pieces I am making. So let us add to the test tube and observe the changes what occurs in the test tube. See, you can see the small bubbles are coming out. That is nothing but reaction is taking place. So let me have this one. See the bubbles. See how the chemical reaction is taking place there. So sodium hydroxide reacting with aluminium. Now let us collect the gas by closing the mouth with the thumb. I am collecting the gas and now I am putting this one. See what will happen, what you are going to observe. See, you can see the burning, that is gas is catching fire and burning there. Little more gas I have to collect. So let me see what will happen. Observe carefully. If you are doing this experiment, you should be very careful, children. Directly you are not supposed to do. Yeah, now gas is liberating more and see, it's giving pop sound. Now we go for displacement reactions. What do you mean by displacement reaction? See, children, one active metal will displace another less active metal from the compound itself. Yes, that is called displacement reaction. For example, one close friend will come with you. What you will do? The other person which is less close friend, that you will displace. That means that you will send them out and the close friend you are going to join. Isn't it? So this is also a type of displacement. So like that one here, stronger metals will displace, stronger or active metals displace less active metal from the compound itself. So let us see the experiment, children. So for that one, what are the things you have to take? Take 500 ml beakers and label them A, B, C, D and E, because you are putting different substances in each. So take about 50 ml of water in each beaker. 50 ml you have to take. Dissolve in each beaker a teaspoonful of each substance what we have mentioned in the table. We are going to give that one. Okay. So you have to keep the beakers undisturbed for some time. Record your observation in your notebook. What will happen? Will do now. So what you have to take? 100 ml beakers, 5 A, B, C, D, E, label it, and 50 ml of water in each beaker. Dissolve the given compound in each one separately and keep the beaker undisturbed for some time and record what will happen. See here, the beakers are kept here, A, B, C, D, E. So these are the 5 beakers what I have kept. And what are the things I have put in this one? Let us see. And you can see the powder. First the color was blue color, isn't it? See the color, blue color it was. Next in this one you see, the color is pale color. That is, it is turning to greenish color. So here copper is deposited at the bottom. And in the next beaker, see, the color is green color. And you can see the bottom, that dark color or reddish color, that is copper ferrous sulfate. First we have taken copper sulfate and zinc is added in this one. Copper sulfate and zinc. When you add this zinc into the copper sulfate solution, zinc is going to displace copper and it forms zinc sulfate. So the first color was blue color. And see the next one, ferrous sulfate I am showing here. Ferrous sulfate is appearing here. So copper sulfate, what we have taken here, when you add iron pieces, what happened? The copper is deposited on the iron and it forms the color. So that is ferrous sulfate is formed. Now next what we have taken, in another one we have taken zinc sulfate and added copper, and ferrous sulfate and added copper. So what is the changes you see? There is no change at all. Clear, no change? Here, the copper is less reactive than the zinc. That's why zinc replaces or displaces copper to form zinc sulfate here. Then copper sulfate solution we take, when you add iron, iron is more reactive. So that's why it displaces copper and it forms ferrous sulfate. So reverse it cannot be possible. So zinc sulfate solution if we take and put copper or iron, it will not react. No reaction, no displacement takes place here. So similarly, a ferrous sulfate solution or copper sulfate solutions, here it will not change. So this shows that there is displacement, that is more reactive element, that is metals, they displace less reactive elements. So let us see the activity series here, children. So usually see the metals, most reactive and least reactive metals, they are grouped like this one. See here the potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, ferrum. Ferrum means iron. So lead, Pb, and hydrogen is not a metal, but it is reactivity series, it is there. So copper, hydrogen, silver and gold, these are the different metals. So they are arranged according to their reactivity. So more reactive, less reactive. So first one, potassium and sodium, they are most reactive, highly reactive. Just you expose to the air, it will react with the air, that is oxygen or carbon dioxide to form their respective salts. So and even in the moisture also they will react, and also they are soft metals. I have learnt it in the earlier classes. So potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, they are highly, calcium, up to calcium they are most reactive. Magnesium and little, their reactivity decreases as we go down. So magnesium, aluminium, zinc. So zinc, yes, aluminium is more reactive than zinc, whereas iron is less reactive than zinc. Zinc can replace iron, but not the iron. Like that. So if we go to after hydrogen, all are metals, they are least reactive, copper, mercury, silver and gold. So they are less reactive. So this reactivity series, if you learn in proper way, so it is very useful for the 10th standard also, children. 10th standard also, once again you are going to learn these things in detail, how they will extraction from their source. Now, uses of metals and non-metals. I think you are very familiar, no? So in the day-to-day life, we are seeing lot of materials in our surroundings. So they are made up of metals, isn't it? They are made up of metals, such as machinery, automobiles, aeroplanes, train, satellites, and industrial gadgets, etc. They are also going to be used for this. Even cooking utensils, water, boilers, etc. So in the house, if you search, you will get many gadgets which are made of metals, including your chair. Metal chairs are available, no? Metal chairs, metal cots, stands, racks, almirahs. Not only that one, so many gadgets we are going to see in the house which are made up of metals, isn't it? See, what is this, That is nothing but the satellite, children. See, this is the satellite, what you are seeing here. Now, uses of non-metals. Children, you are familiar with the non-metals, no? Which are the non-metals you have learned? Sulfur, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, isn't it? So these are all non-metals. Are they useful for us? Yes, they are very, very essential for the living things. Non-metals is essential for our life, which all living beings inhale during breathing. Which gas we are going to inhale, children? Yes, oxygen. We take in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide, isn't it? So usually we have learned that one. We'll take air, along with the air, oxygen, carbon dioxide, all gases will enter. So in that one, the percentage of carbon dioxide will be more when it is breathed out. So their essential thing is oxygen here, isn't it? Even plants also, they will also require oxygen for their breathing. Only for preparation of food, they will require carbon dioxide, isn't it? Okay. Non-metals used in fertilizers to enhance the growth of the plants. Which are the non-metals we are going to use here? Yes, urea, there is nitrogen gas, potassium, okay, nitrogen, potassium, NPK, what we say, even phosphorus we are going to use. NPK means nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. So these are all non-metals which are going to be used for the growth of the plants. Non-metals used in water purification process. Can you guess what is this? Which is the gas what we are going to use for purification of water? Yes, children, it is chlorine. Chlorine is a disinfectant. So we are going to use in the purification of drinking water. Even we are going to use it for swimming pools to kill the microorganisms, to decrease the infections. So microorganisms which are infectious, they are going to be killed by using this chlorine. So that's why we are going to use non-metals in water purification processes. Non-metals used in purple colored solution which is applied on wounds as an antiseptic. Which is that one? Have you applied this one? It is called tincture of iodine, children. Tincture of iodine. So tincture solution, they are going to put it in. So iodine is going to be dissolved in alcohol and they are going to apply for the wounds. It is going to be antiseptic. Okay. So even in the non-metals are going to be used in crackers. Crackers means pataki. So crackers, they are going to use this non-metal such as sulfur, phosphorus and so many other non-metals are going to be used for these purposes to give colorful light. So this in the day-to-day life we are utilizing these materials. So these are the basic things what we have learned. Isn't it, children? So now we are going to recall what we have learned, important points to be remembered in this chapter. So this is the end of the chapter. So we will recall from the beginning what we have learned and what are the things to be remembered for the purpose of examination. Not only for examination, for our lifetime. Okay, children, let us see what is this. In a chemical reaction, new substances are formed. These substances are different from those of which underwent a reaction. Children, what is chemical reaction? What we have learned? See, what is chemical reaction means? In a chemical reaction, new substances are formed. 2 or 3 substances will combine together to form a new product here. So the substance which is formed is entirely different from those of which underwent a reaction. For example, you see hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen is the gas which is combustible, which catches fire. Oxygen, it is also a gas which is a supporter of combustion. Combustion means burning. So what happens here? Hydrogen and oxygen both join together, react together to form water, which is not a combustible or not supporter of combustion. Entirely different character we got it here. Yes, children? So this is how it is formed. Even if you take sodium chloride, that is sodium which is highly reactive metal. Chlorine is poisonous and it is a gas. So when they react with each other, what you are going to get? Sodium chloride, that is common salt, what we eat. So here, the properties are going to be changed entirely. The new substances are formed. That's why we call it as chemical reaction. Here, it cannot be easily separated. Chemicals which is formed cannot be easily separated. If a substance cannot be broken down further by chemical reaction, by cooling, heating, or electrolysis is called element. So, we know that matter is made up of small particles called atoms, isn't it? So, these atoms are going to be combined with each other to form compounds. But similar type of atoms together forms the element. Similar type of atoms together form an element. So, for example, if you take hydrogen, all atoms in the hydrogen are same type. They have same physical and chemical properties. So, they cannot be further divided by, further broken by cooling or heating or by means of electrolysis. So, that's why we call that all group of atoms as element. So, element is the matter which is made up of similar kind of atoms in them. Okay, I already told that the smallest unit of element is called an atom. When you take any material, you take gold, iron, silver, anything which is made up of same type of atoms, the smallest particle. So go on dividing, cutting it. Very small particle, if you take, that particle will be the atom. Molecules, further if you divide molecule, we are going to get atoms. So atom is the smallest particle of an element, whereas molecule is the smallest particle of a compound. Clear? Atom and molecules. All matter is made up of atoms or molecules. The matter may be element or compound. Isn't it? Okay. A sample of an element contains only one kind of atoms. All are same. An atom of an element remains unaffected by physical changes in the element. Physical changes means you may bend, you may cut, you may beat, or you may make it into sheets, or you may do any other changes you bring. The element will not change the physical changes. It will not change, it will remain same. There will be no changes in the atom. Next, we have an infinite variety of substances in the universe. Infinite means numerous substances, isn't it? So, wherever you see, we see the matter. So, the matter is made up of substances. Okay, water, air, stones, sand, animals, etc. Like that. Go on searching. We get numerous, infinite. So, varieties are there. In the universe, it is very, very different types of materials are found. So, the number of elements forming these substances are limited. So, we have many number of materials, but the elements forming these substances are limited only. How many are there? There are not more than 94 elements which are naturally occurring, children. So, there are not more than 94 elements naturally which are occurring in the nature. So, they are classified into metals and non-metals. Already we have learnt it. The remaining are called metallites. Metals, non-metals and metallites. So, this we have seen in the periodic table where they are arranged according to their atomic numbers. Okay, metallites means they possess character of both metals and non-metals. Both characters they will show. They are in between. Okay, children. So, these are the things what we have to remember in this one. And also in this chapter, you have to remember about that acids and bases, isn't it? Acid, bases, they react with the metals to form one particular compounds in this one. Okay. And the properties of metals we have learned, properties of bases we have learned, how they react chemically also we have learned. Children, now it is time for quiz. The metals which is in liquid state at room temperature is, the metals which is in liquid state at room temperature is mercury, copper, iron, sodium. Children, you know the answer. That is mercury. Good children. Next question. Which one of the following metal does not react with the dilute hydrochloric acid? Mercury, copper, iron, sodium. I think got the answer. That is verified. Yes, copper. Next question. Which of the following property of metals responsible for making jewels? It is a solid, ductility, good conductor, color. So which property? You know the meaning of that also. That is ductility. So ductility means the metals can be drawn into thin wires. So now children, it is time for home assignment, children. So name the following. Non-metal which is essential for our life. All living beings inhale during breathing. Already we discussed it. Once again recall and write the answer in the assignment. Name two major non-metals which are present in fertilizers. Fertilizers, I told NPK. Okay, what do you mean by NPK and which are they? And in detail, you can write, children. The non-metals used in water purification. Next question is, a purple colored non-metal mixed with alcohol which applied as antiseptic. Already we discussed it. Once again recall and write it. Children, I think you understood the lesson clearly. Go through the lesson once again, twice or thrice in the textbook, and also watch the lesson on Diksha portal or Chandana TV YouTube channel. There also you can get this one repeatedly 2-3 times. You note this one and enjoy the experiment. Try to do that one and you can remember for longer time. It is easy for you to remember also, no? Okay, children. This lesson is very interesting, no? So experiments, activities, etc. So if you do with your friends and present in the school, that will be very nice. Thank you, children. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching.